The demonstration for today is that our company, New Breeze HVAC, supplies commercial HVAC equipment, and today our customer Art Cages, who are an art product supplier, have ordered 2 HVAC units to be ready just in time for installation of their new premises on the 15th. Now let's take a look at the end-to-end workflow we'll demonstrate today. And we'll start with customer service, where James will create an order for the HVAC units. He'll show how pre-assigned serial numbers now appear on the linked production order, and then he'll send the order through for scheduling. As the production manager, I'll take you through how the production order appears with the new production schedule board. And then once scheduled and released, you can commence production of the units. I'll show you how material allocation now allows for direct allocation to a nominated serial. And then James will fulfill and complete the customer order. Now I'll hand over to James to take you through the first stage of this workflow.
Thanks, Bruce. So today I'm taking on the role as a customer service manager. And in this example, the customer has placed an order for 2 commercial HVAC units for their new offices, and they'd like to pick them up tomorrow. In this make-to-order scenario, Advanced then triggers a linked production order whereby the user has effectively pushed all customer demand quantities into production for the planning stage. Before I do that though, I want to show you the pre-assigned serial numbers against this order. As the HVAC units are serial tracked, I can now drill through to the production order details to view the serial numbers pre-assigned to the order. This new feature delivers within the autumn release ensures better traceability as it allows users to allocate materials to specific serial items throughout the stage of production. It also provides enough advance notice for staff here to produce identification labels and any other documentation specific to each item we're producing. So before I hand over to Bruce, I'll now send the production order through for scheduling. And now over to you, Bruce, to manage the production stages of this order.
Thanks, James. So as the production manager using MYOB Advance's new production schedule board, I can now see all my planned production graphically via this Gantt chart view. And with some nice hover over here, which will provide some extra details by operation. I can also get an instant view of work center capacity versus utilization by this section here in the histogram view. And to substantiate what I see, I also have drill-through access to the source data if I need it by these hyperlinks. I can filter orders by a multitude of options. You can see at the very, very top here. And I can invoke display settings to differentiate orders by color based on various options that you can see on the screen here. In the histogram view below, I see utilization of either work center or machine represented in green blocks, being an aggregation of hours from each production order you see on the screen, versus capacity shown as a red line. So Rough Cut Planning considers this when scheduling orders to avoid overutilization. Now for our order here, the customer has since contacted us advising us there's a delay with their installer, and they won't be on site until the 19th. And as we'll need to have the units ready for pickup the day before, being the 18th, in this situation, we can change the constraint dates of this order and reschedule very easily within the interface. By doing so, I simply click on the constraint date, change it to the 18th, select that, and then hit the schedule action mode. And that will then reschedule that order to the 18th. I'll just do a quick refresh on that. And as we can see, the order is now scheduled out to the 18th. Now that we've locked the production in for this, by doing so, we simply go through, nominate that production order, and click Firm, do a quick reschedule, and you'll see those operations change color now to a dark green. So now that we've locked this production order in within the schedule, we can now release the order to commence production. Doing so, I'll just click through on the production order and release that order. It's now released. So now let's take a look how an MYOB Advanced allows for the allocation of components to pre-assign the serial numbers against this production order. So let's now take a look at how MYOB Advanced allows for the allocation of components to pre-assigned serial numbers against that production order. If I now go into the materials allocation screen, I'll enter in component to select against that particular production order. We'll go through it and select James's order, P00152, select the operation ID, being the first assembly operation, and serialized component in this case will be the Breeze Master Pump. Quantity of 1. And the first serial number we'll select here from the range of available serial numbers will be number 1. And then we'll go through and allocate it against a nominated serial number from that production order. In this case, the first one there being 582. We'll hit save on that and then release. And so now what we can do is take a look at the as-built configuration and select that serial number just to see that lineage. Now we have a full view of our serialized component, that serial number of the child component, allocated against the parent item being 582 as we've just conducted. So as we can see, it provides a clear link that will remain for the lifetime of that particular unit. Okay, now to expedite the production process in the example, I'll now show you how a move transaction on the last operation completes production for all prior operations and simultaneously backflashes other required components for this bill of material. We'll now go into move transactions, select a control quantity of 2 units that we're producing, and we'll go ahead and select our production order from the list. In this case, we're performing a move transaction on the very last operation, quantity 2. I'll now save on that and release that move transaction to conclude those operations. Now that the production is complete, the finished goods are ready to be released to the customer sales order, whereby a shipment's created against the order to formalise the dispatch process. Over to you, James, for that final stage.
Thanks, Bruce. Now, as the customer has arrived to collect their HVAC units, all that is left to do is to allocate the finished goods and perform a quick process. I'll now do the quick process. Now that has gone through and it's created their shipment as well as released the invoice to the customer, fundamentally completing the make to order scenario.